And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, Director at WEIU. My co-host today is Mr. Rob Calhoun,
Thanks for having me here, Jeff.
the voice of the EIU women's basketball team. So that should tell you today we're talking basketball. We have head coaches Matt Bollant from the women here.
Hello.
Hello, Matt. Good seeing you. And Coach Marty Simmons from the men.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Best time of the year is when all the sports collide, and right now all the sports are colliding, and basketball is on the horizon. So I guess let's throw it out, maybe just how the squads look right now as the beginning of, well, not the beginning, but as we've got some practice in, and we're doing the preseason games and getting ready for the regular season. So, Matt, we'll let you go first.
Yeah, I feel good about where we're at. Obviously, we've got some pieces to fill with Lerai and Morgan being gone and Lyric tore ACL this summer. So that's three starters that we've got to fill. But we feel like we have the right kids. We'll learn more as the lights come on. They look good in practice, and sometimes the lights come on and you don't always see the same thing. But we feel like we're going to be better and be stronger. Obviously, time will tell. But I do like our new pieces, and Maya and Macy have really stepped up, had great off seasons, and they're both preseason all conference, and we feel like we have as good a post as anybody in the conference and as good a guard as anybody in the conference. And when you have that, you got a chance.
There you go.
We like our team as well, Jeff. With 8 new players, probably a little bit different, but they've come in with great attitudes. We've had a lot of really good practices. We're a little bit older. We've signed some transfers, junior college and portal kids. We have one kid that is from a prep school, so that's been a little bit different. But we've had really competitive workouts, and I do think we're getting better.
Cool. Rob?
And how difficult has it been for you, Marty? I know that, Matt, you don't really have to go through it so much, but losing players to the transfer portal every year.
Well, it's difficult. I mean, it's just part of it. That's kind of the landscape of college basketball today. 10 years ago, when I was a head coach, your freshmen became sophomores, juniors, and that's still the goal. And I do believe that we can still accomplish that. I felt like we were really close to doing that last season, but unfortunately, it was kind of a snowball effect. I think we did a lot of things. Our administration really helped us to try to keep, our core guys. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But again, I feel really confident that the group that we've recruited, they have a good attitude. They bring a lot of really good talents to our team, and I think it's going to give us a chance to really be competitive.
Matt, last year you got Mason McGlone and Hannah Purcell out of the portal. This year it's Ellie Bazell. And what are you looking for when you reach into the portal?
Yeah, for us, our culture is so good that we got to be careful. And we brought a kid in, a transfer, and had offered her. She came in, and boy, there were some red flags. And then our players like, Coach, I don't think so. And I totally agreed with them. And the kid left, and we said, sorry, we're pulling your scholarship. And the kid was 6'3" and really talented, and would have been a good player basketball-wise. But for us, we want to know the kid as best we can, because gosh, it's only a couple of weeks, and you got to make a quick decision. And we just feel really good about our culture, and so we're trying to be careful. Ellie, I recruited out of high school saw her play. She verbaled early to Grand Canyon, but she had a teammate on her AAU that we wanted bad that ended up going to Colorado. I was at every one of her AAU games that summer, and so I knew exactly who she was when she came into the portal. And then we got Tiny, a junior college player, transfer as well, and both those guys are sophomores, 3 years to play, which is ideal. And they're both right now. We did a scrimmage yesterday, and they both were in the starting lineup.
All right, Marty first. Then Matt, your coaching staff for this year. Talk about the changes or any additions, or what your thoughts on your coaching staff.
Yeah, we've got a whole new staff, and quite honestly, Jeff, I wish they could play.
Richard Wright, I'm sure.
Yeah, heck of a player, and really he's brought a lot of experience. Just a really good communicator, and I think our players, there's that respect of knowing, he was a great player, and Marlon London brings that same kind of respect. He played at Kansas. He played at St. Joe for legendary Coach Pingatore. So he's a real personable guy. Kylan Butler is a young man from Danville, Illinois, who I worked with at Clemson. I think he's going to be a superstar in the business. I call him Tony Dungy, a real faithful guy, a real positive guy. He's done a great job of getting our guys in the gym, doing things extra. And then Jalen Hutton, a young man that we got from Chicago State, brings a ton of energy. And then a guy that joined us last year, kind of during the start of the season, Bob Lockhart, basketball encyclopedia. He's on the floor now coaching with the rule change. So really, really excited about our coaching staff and how our players are responding to the new
Is it
new
fun
staff.
being around a bunch of new guys like that? And kind
It is. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't. I miss Coach Novsak. He's my buddy, but he he retired and went back closer to home. He actually is volunteering for Southern Indiana staff, but he's back living with his wife, but I do miss him.
I bet.
Yeah, we had a change as well. Mariah went to be with Brady, had coached her, and then went to be with him at Ball State, and it's a great opportunity for her. Ball State's going to be one of the best mid-majors in the country for sure. But we added KC, and she's come in and been great. And this is, I think, the best staff I've had in 27 years. They mesh really well. Players love them, respect them. They all have some toughness to them and expectations, but they got a feel, too, for what a kid needs when. Yeah. And I, again, last year I felt like I delegated more than I ever have, and I'm delegating even more this year. And it makes me better in the areas that I'm responsible for. I do a better job, and I want them to, step on the court and do it, and love doing it, and get the opportunity to do it so that they realize what they have as well, because other places they may not get the opportunity to do as much as I'm giving them.
That makes sense.
Both of you have beefed up your schedule. I know, Marty, you can't blame Doug for it this year, I don't think, like you did last year.
Yes, I can.
So talk about your schedules.
Yeah, he did. He actually put most of it together before he left. But we feel fortunate. You have a chance to play Illinois. It's right up the road. Got tons of respect for Coach Underwood. Obviously, Coach Alexander, somebody I worked with. So we feel fortunate to be able to go up there and play. Kansas is somebody I believe was on the schedule when COVID happened a few years ago. Obviously, they're preseason number 1 right now, so that'd be neat to go out there and play. And Rock Chalk Jayhawk, Iowa State, their program is on the upswing. They're doing a great job there. Obviously, Loyola Chicago, we used to play those guys back in the Valley. They're, again, another – and we like to get up in the Chicago area. I think that really helps us, with the recruiting and so on and so forth, playing in a little MTE over at Miami, Ohio. But, the non-conference schedule obviously is to prepare you for the league. And I think without a doubt, that's something that our schedule will do for us.
There you go. And you
Yeah, we definitely beefed up our schedule as well. We won 21 games last year, but our strength of schedule didn't get us in the NCAA tournament, and really we weren't close to that. So we had to strengthen it, and we definitely did that. Playing an MTE as well at Grand Canyon, so it gives us 31 games, and that's a great thing to have 2 extra games. And certainly we got a lot of new players that are going to play, and gives us a chance to see more in the non-conference. Playing Indiana early, who's top 10 in the country. Wisconsin and New Mexico will be very tough tests as well. So we definitely have strengthened our schedule and feel like after we win 20-some games this year, then we're going to be in the postseason.
Is that a selling point, though, too, when you're recruiting, that you're going to some of these schools so the kids get that experience of playing at a Big 12 or a Big 10 school? Does that factor in at all?
Yeah, for us it does. The kids, we play pretty much Midwest. Most of our kids are Midwest, so we try to stay here as much as we can. But certainly we got Indiana kids that'll be at the Indiana game. We've got Wisconsin kids that'll be at the Wisconsin game, and Minnesota kids that probably come to the Wisconsin game. So, anytime you're playing in Midwest, especially playing a Big Ten school, I think people will come out and watch it.
Marty?
I think so as well. I mean, the opportunity to play on Big Ten Network, to play nationally, to play on that big stage. You're recruiting Illinois kids and the chance to play in their home state, and obviously Kansas, known nationally. I think, those are the kind of kids you want to recruit that want to go play against those schools.
Illinois, you beat them Eastern beat them a few years ago. Remember here in an exhibition game.
Oh,
so.
yeah. And they beat Iowa last year. So
I was going to bring that up too. And
Iowa was a great win.
So it's fun things when those happen like that. You both touched on a little bit of your experienced players. What about some of the new players that maybe the fans don't know that much about that they can look forward to seeing over there at Lance this year? We'll go Marty first this one.
Yeah, Tiger Booker. He's a fifth-year player. Yeah, he's been a lot of different places. Most recently Tarleton State, but he's a little bit like Yak. He's a little point guard. He's fast. He's quick. He's really tough, hard-nosed. Really like him. Energy guy, tough. Makes the guys around him better. Nikel Shelton from South Suburban, long, 6'4", can shoot it, slices, slashes, can get to the rim. Kendall Davis, long athletic player. Most recently, Panola Junior College. Cooper Jacoby he was an Indiana All-Star over at Silver Creek High School. Most recently, Toledo University. 6'7", can shoot the three, can score from all three levels, rebounds the ball extremely well. We're excited about all of our guys. Jalen Gibson, transfer from Mount Mercy. He's got 2 years of Division I experience, played at Evanston High School. So I think, really 1 through 13, of our scholarship guys, everybody has an opportunity to contribute, and these guys have really added to our team already.
Yeah, I think for us it starts with Tiny, point guard, and obviously Maya played the point last year, but just to have someone else to share that with her, we feel like Maya's legs would get saved a little bit using Tiny at the point. And Tiny was great yesterday in our scrimmage, so exciting to see what she can do. She can shoot it really well, and she's just going to be able to pressure the ball. We weren't really able to pressure the ball, get it picked up, get it stopped, and she's really gifted at that. And then another new kid, Ellis, is a true freshman out of Milwaukee. She's the same. She's just physically gifted. Both of them can get the ball picked up, get by people. And we struggled a little bit last year when we had pressure, just getting by Tennessee State and some of those teams that got into us, Little Rock, who could guard in the half court. But then Ellie Bazell, we call her Buzz. We got 2 Ellies and 1 Ella, so I came up with nicknames for all of them.
You always have to,
but
right?
yeah, I call her Buzz. And 2 days, Saturday, she had arguably one of the best shooting days in practice that we've had of any kid since I've been here, and just felt like she made everything. And she's smart. She's got a great feel for the game, and that's hard to teach. So those 3 are going to be, playing a ton. And then we have 2 foreign kids that we'll see as they develop. They need to get a lot stronger. Told them coming in, you better be lifting, and they said they were, and then they got here and like, oh, this is a little more physical than anything that I've seen before. So they've got a little bit of ways to go physically, but both of them are working hard at it.
Awesome.
I mean, it's trying to bring people here to Charleston. I know that improvements have been made to Lance Arena, the new scoreboard. You got the new floor this year, and women's basketball with the new locker room a couple years ago. How does that help with your recruiting?
Immensely. I mean, the new floor, really walking out there, I mean, I knew they were redoing the floor, but when you walk out there, it's like walking into a new arena. I mean, it really made that kind of an impact, and we're so appreciative of everything that Tom and the administration are doing to try to make everything better. We have the prime time, tomorrow night, and that kind of will present all of the new things that we have to offer. But I know especially on the men's side, all the eye candy things, all the fancy things that they can see. I know, Jerry Sloan used to tease us at Evansville all the time, like, that stuff doesn't matter. The goal's still 10 feet, free throw line's still 15. But, the improvements to the weight room, these are things that we can take recruits into that other schools that we're competing against recruiting-wise we can compete with. So super appreciative to all the improvements that the administration's doing.
Yeah, for us, very similar. I mean, our locker room has completely changed our recruiting. We walk recruits in there now, and this is better what other places have. And it used to be, we didn't really even want to show them our locker room, honestly. If they would ask, we would show them. And then we talk about, hey, look at the men's. This is what we're going to have, something like this. So now, we know Jerry and Marlene, and we had a bunch of people step up and make a huge difference for us. And now, we walk recruits in there. We're really proud of our locker room. And that's a good feeling to have. I look forward to walking them in there, now and with a sense of pride. For sure. And the court has the lights have made a difference. It's so much brighter in there. And if we practice a lot in the mornings, and you come in and it's dark outside, and then you get in there and it's bright, and the kids are awake and ready to go, and it definitely does make a difference. And even your spirit, you walk in and it's light and it's nice, and and just it gives you a sense of pride.
As you both look towards the OVC and the conference schedule, teams to beat and things you're looking for. I know you don't really factor in talking in the past preseason polls, but as you look towards the league, what do we expect this year?
Well, I think from our side, Moorhead, they kind of got the mojo right now, obviously, and they've got some good returning players. I think SIU Edwardsville as well. They returned 4 starters. But I really think after that, it's pretty wide open. I think, it's hard to predict. I think a lot of the preseason predictions are based on the previous year's finishes. I think it's hard for us all to predict how all the newcomers are going to do. I'm excited. You know, I was last year as well, and I think we were really close to having a chance to actually crack in there and make a good jump. We didn't finish the way we had hoped, but I think the same opportunity presents itself for us, and I think we'll finish a lot differently this year.
Yeah. One thing, Marcus is one of his best skills is his confidence. And yesterday I was talking about, hey, this team might be better than that team. And he's like, what about us? And so, you know, that's we want to talk like, hey, we are the team to beat. We feel like we are picked third, and obviously we understand that. But you know, we want to have a swagger about our confidence to us as a staff and as players. And we felt like we let one slip away last year, and we're determined to be the team to beat this year. Obviously, Tech won the conference tournament, returns a lot. Little Rock is really good. Martin had a lot of injuries last year. If they stay healthy, they'll be really good as well. But you know, our focus is on ourselves and getting better, and we feel like there's no reason why we can't be the team to beat.
And the good thing is, when you think about this, last year, the way baseball and softball ended, football team is better this year. It seems to be there's a lot of good, I don't know what the mojo, I'll use Coach's word there, that's going in with Eastern Athletics. So I like that. The volleyball team is awesome. So it's a good time right now. So
it's exciting. Volleyball's playing for first place this week with SEMO, Friday, Saturday, big matches for them, and Sarah's done a great job.
Rob?
What's it going to take to get more people in the crowd to cheer you on? I know that when the crowd is electric, it is something that the teams really feed off of.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. And I think our students did better for us last year. We have a kind of a group of guys that come out, sit in the front row, and make it tough on opposing teams, and we're excited about that group again. But we need the city of Charleston to embrace our basketball and be out here and come and support it. We got two great teams and two great coaches and these coaching staffs, and I feel like we got a really good product on both ends, and we need the city of Charleston to really embrace this and come out and support these teams, because it matters for winning, it matters for recruiting, and it's a really big deal to get people in the stands.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think our students and really our athletic teams, you know, I've been at a few different universities, and I'm not sure that the athletic teams support each other any more than what they do here at EIU. It's impressive, you know, going to volleyball games, football games, whatever it may be, seeing the other, you know, athletic teams there is pretty cool. And then to add the video boards and what James is doing with that and the excitement, and again, the prime time, you know, that we're having tomorrow night to try to get the students to come out and see the things that we're doing with our athletes, it makes a difference. I mean, it not only inspires our players when they're playing the game, there's an intimidation factor when, you know, with the opponents. And then what I would say also is that the youth, you know, our fans and the excitement that they bring, it fires up some of our older fans that are at the game as well. They'll tell you that it gets them excited as well. So in the end, it's a win-win for everybody involved. And you know, I can remember, you know, many years ago as a player myself, you know, your dauber gets down and the game's not going your way, and the fans have a way of lifting you up, finding that third win, so to speak, that can will you to that victory. And I've actually played in Lance Gym when that has happened, and there's no other place like that. And you know, our goal has always been to bring that back.
What can we expect tomorrow night for prime time? I've heard a little bit about it, but I'll let both of you talk about what some of the students here at Eastern can see tomorrow night.
Yeah, for my knowledge of it, our assistants kind of handled it a little more than the head coaches. But, you know, just a chance for the players to be out there and show and do some shooting stuff. They're going to grab people from the stands and throw them in with our players as well, and just bring some excitement and give out some prizes and get the students and community excited about. It's the first time we've done it since I've been here. And as Coach talked about, James has done a great job of marketing to do some new things, bring some new life, and it should be a really fun night.
I think a lot of student engagement, you know what I mean, and a lot of loud music, you know, pumping the volume to it. And you know, I mean, that's what I think we're all striving for, is a festive environment. Yeah, we want them to come. We got to do our part. There's no doubt about it, and put a good product on the floor. But I think at the end of the day, we want, you know, the fans and their families to leave there feeling good, you know, and a part of that is the environment that they're watching the game in. And I think that what James and again the administration's doing is really going to help us.
There you go.
Something on the schedule, and this is for Matt, that's probably going to confuse some people. You only have 3 home games, but one of them's not going to be played here in Charleston.
Yeah, we're playing at Lakeland. We didn't, obviously, that wasn't our first choice. But Milwaukee basically said, hey, this is the only day we have to play. And our gym is being used for graduation. We're almost in our gym 99 days out of 100. But, with so little home games, them owing us a game, and Milwaukee's going to be good. It's going to be a good test for us. We chose to go to Lakeland for that game. And hopefully the Mattoon community will come out, and hopefully we'll get a good crowd there. We'll have to practice there some anyway because we won't be in our gym. So it was really either lose a home game and have a danger of only having 2 home games or play at Lakeland, and I chose. It was my decision to do that.
Well, I think if you make the best of it and you just do it and embrace it, it can be fun. You can
Yeah.
have some new fans check out EIU basketball on the women's side, because the Lakeland, the Lady Lakers are one of the better work teams in the area.
National champions a couple years ago.
So it's nothing wrong with it other than just it's kind of a pain, but it's still you embrace it and just go with it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing for us, and I think we're going to go there and play well, and it's going to be good.
I always ask this question this time of year because you never know what the NCAA is up to. Are there any new rules this year? Game day rules or anything that will be different for the regular fan out there that's coming to the game in terms of whatever they're
Well, I'm sure there's plenty, Jeff. But, like the block charge rule, they've changed that to where you better be set by the time they take off. I mean, they just make it harder and harder, to be quite honest with you on that. But I don't think there's anything.
So you have to be set to take a charge, basically.
Well, you always have been. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not sure where they're going with it. To be honest, I think a lot of the Power Fives would like to get rid of it. But guys like me, that couldn't block shots, we really like it. It gave us a chance to be on the floor. Matt's team does about as good a job as anybody at taking them. It's a real advantage for teams that can rotate and do that. It just, it's getting more and more like the European style of game. But I'm old school. I still like to see it.
Yeah, in our game they got rid of the arc, and so it's only a charge right underneath the basket. I think that's a good rule change. It's always you're wondering if their feet were in the right place. And yesterday in the scrimmage we took a couple charges where it would have been a block because you're inside. It's ironic though. In the women's game they call 9 out of 10 are called charges. In the men's game they'll call some blocks. And they'll call, if it's close, they'll call it a block. In our game, if it is even remotely close, they call it a charge every time. And so it's really an advantage to take charges. And it's a thing, it's a weapon if you're good at it. And we've got some kids, Ellie Magic is really good at it, Terrace is good at it. Yesterday, Buzz took a charge. And if you're good at it, it's a weapon, and we definitely need to use it on our side.
Oh, is the flop rule still in effect for the men's game? I think they were trying to institute it in the women's game as well.
It's still in effect, but I don't think there is the same kind of focus as there has been. I think they'll call a foul, but I don't think I don't think the technical.
I think players are a little less adept to take a flop because of social media, because they get railed on the next day. It's really, you did that?
And you got to be careful with that. I'm not a big fan of it. If there's contact, how's it a flop?
Yeah.
Coach Felling, he taught us, don't stay in there and just take the brunt. If there's contact, there's an art to taking a charge without getting your brains knocked out. And so that part's a little bit tough.
Yeah, and for us, Tech, won the conference tournament. They beat Little Rock. Little Rock's best player fouled out in 13 minutes, and 2 of them were charges. And they had a kid that is not a great defender take her 5th foul, take a charge, and that changed the game. If that kid's on the floor, it's a tight game. Little Rock might win. If she plays 30 minutes, they probably do. But her charge, the 2 charges that Tech took, completely changed that game, and yeah, it's a big deal for us. And the flopping thing, I hope the women's goes to it, because right now I do feel like there's a lot of flopping, and I feel like you get rewarded for it in the women's game.
Can I ask you a question that I think is interesting? What do you both love the most about your job? What's the best thing about coaching?
I feel like just seeing your team grow. It changes so much from now, from September, end of September to March. You see that growth and the change in individuals, and it's rewarding to see, them grow throughout. And I really enjoy every aspect of my job. October is a tough month because you got a lot of practices and kids getting hurt. You're only playing against yourself. But October is one of the tougher months. Once you get to November and games start, I feel like it's easier for players, probably easier for the coaches. But I enjoy all aspects of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The relationships you build, and I know from my standpoint, the opportunity to to push people outside their limits, and sometimes that's not always easy, and then 10 to 15 years from now, you look back and these young people that you were coaching, their parents, their husbands, they have families, and you see them have successful lives. Because, I mean, in the big realm of things, I mean, that's what you're really hoping for, is that, they grow and they learn, and they have happy and successful lives.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd add to that. Everyone looks at the wins losses, and that's all we get folk and judged on. But if we see a kid 10 or 15 years from now and they're doing great, that's really I think how you should be judged as a coach. It's not the world we live in, but ironically, I think it is a big deal when a kid 10 or 15 years from now they're successfully married and they've got a good job, they've got kids, and you see them growing and doing great. That's really rewarding as a coach.
Speaking of wins and losses, before I get to you, Rob, did you know you're 296 and 296 going into this year?
Geez, thanks, Jeff.
No, but I mean,
that's a lot of losses.
Yeah, but it's just that you think about how long you've coached to exactly be right there, 296 and 296. It's just an interesting fact. Yes, I actually do research, believe it or not. These guys also coached at the same time at Evansville in the late 90s.
Yeah, we play racquetball together a couple days a week.
So there you go. Interesting stuff.
Both of you have talked about culture and bringing good kids in, and I know that both of you do activities with the kids to try to get them to get along. And how important is that, building that team culture?
Yeah, we did a overnight retreat last week with John Wright up in St. Joe's, and his leadership stuff is about as good as anybody I've ever been around, and it was just super rewarding for our players, and such a neat time to see that team bonding. We do a lot of it. I think we did one with the men's team a week or two ago, and and it's a big deal. On the women's side, if they like each other, it matters on the court. They're going to struggle if they don't, and it's going to show up if there's some problems. Thankfully, we have about as little drama as any women's basketball team in the country.
We do a faith-based, we call it a character academy, where we work with Nate Cannell, a gentleman on campus here, and we bring in speakers. Last year we brought in Henry Dahmerkamp, Rick Samuels.
Two good dudes there.
Yeah, and they knocked it out of the park. We brought in Mark Bollant this. I mean, we try to bring in some history and tradition of the program when it achieves success, because I want our players to feel that. And you do feel it when they speak. Like, it's different. When you ask our players, they can feel it. We brought in an assistant from the Dallas Mavericks. We bring in some faith-based speakers. And again, just trying to, there's a little bit of basketball there. There's a little bit of faith there. There's a little bit of the real world life. And everybody has their own little story. And just trying to, we talk to them about the same things every day, but your way of telling it may connect with a guy differently than what I am. You may have a different way of saying the same thing I am, but Jeff, if they're going to listen to you, that's all that matters to me. Yeah. We just want these young guys to be successful.
You took us right to the post, Coach. So thanks so much, Coach Simmons, Coach Bollant. Best of luck this season. All the games right here on Hitmix 88.9 WEIU. Rob on the women, Mike Brad on the men. Everybody have a great day. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.